How do the financial systems work? Cash is what we call liquid, and we call it liquid because it is easy to make it flow. But how does this liquidity comes into the play when we talk about our economy, and most importantly, how does it help me and you? Well, imagine for a second it is 2022. Offices are just opening up and you're coming back to cities like Pune, Bangalore, Hyderabad. You come here and within months you see something very unnatural happen. Your rents are going up. Everybody's talking about inflation. How does all of that come into our picture? How does inflation start out of nowhere? Do we all know the reasons for it? Sometimes when we ask people out there, they just say, well, it's the war. Well, it's the money printing. But how exactly? So let's go back to our cities. Now, you have come back from your hometown, 2-3 months have passed, and you suddenly find your owner demanding a higher rent. Your grocery bills are increasing day by day, even though it's the same stuff you have been eating for years. You have your weekly dinner outside, and sadly it's eating away just a bit at your potential savings for the month. You feel like you're getting poorer day by day. While some of your peers might agree, some may dismiss this, calling you a little delusional. This is Pratik, and welcome to Faster Synapse. Well, fortunately or unfortunately, you are not delusional, and yes, you are getting poorer day by day, and you would be getting poorer day by day forever, because that is how inflation works. The numbers on your salary statement indicate growth, but you might ask how much? Well, imagine the last day of the month. You have a lot of cash in hand, and a lot of cash in hand is an itch. Even if you're content with the things you have, you only think you are. There's always something that can make your life better. And once you have that, there's always something that can make your life even better. If you still don't agree, we have a term for that. It's called being a saint. As soon as you go and get it, you become the source of livelihood for someone else. And this is how basically our economy works. But here's the catch, right? Every one of us wants that one other thing. It doesn't matter if it's someone else growing food for us or someone else buying the flats we are renting today. They all want to see growth. They all want to become rich tomorrow. Just like us. Now within this whole chain of economy, problems happen from two sides. When your rent increases, it's that there are not enough flats and everyone else's incomes are rising, which means there are more people willing to pay more for the same flat that you are. Your flat owner just has an opportunity to get a better pay. Now this is how the system works, and everyone takes advantage of it. And it would be a lie to say if we wouldn't have done the same thing in their position. Your grocery bills are going up because, well, same people producing the same amount of goods, but a lot of people wanting to buy it. You'll have to increase the price, and hence the inflation continues. But this doesn't really answer the question as why is it necessary for us? All I can see is it's only causing me more harm. Well, here comes the play. Like a good friend of mine said, suppose your dog wants a new bone toy to chew. You don't want to break your FD for that. There are a lot of types of assets you can put your money in. But for now, let's talk about your wallet and the FD. Your wallet is exactly what we refer to as cash or liquid, because you can just buy anything you want to. If you go out there, just take out your wallet. FDs are not the same. You cannot break it. Then what do? That's why it's called a fixed deposit, because the banks give you interest for keeping your money in there for certain amounts of time. I mean, technically you can just go and break your FD today, but what's the use? So in short, we find out that FDs are not as liquid as your wallet. What does that mean? It's not available to use as much as your wallet is. If we go by the definition of inflation above, that is, that if you have too much liquidity out there, you're gonna see inflation because there would be too many people trying to buy the same thing. But if you have too many people going into things like fixed deposits, which are fixed, and that causes liquidity to decrease in the market, you're gonna have less number of people basically wanting to buy the same things. The prices won't go up as fast. This is where the repo rate comes in.
Want too much inflation because it causes problems. seeing prices rise, it raises interest rates. With higher interest rates, fewer people can afford to borrow money, and the cost of existing debts rises.
So you might be wondering, how do these interest rates force people to spend less? There's a simple logic for that. If taking a loan tomorrow takes a higher interest, you would decrease the number of people taking those loans. Once you decrease the number of people taking those loans, you decrease the number of people spending the money in the market. Once that decreases, so does the livelihood for someone else you were going to spend your money on. It drives the demand down, and hence the prices come back to normal. All of this is very complicated at some end. There are a lot of nuances and a lot of different things in between liquidity and non-liquidity, in between repo rate and the whole debt market. This is a lot complex, but in simpler words, interest rate, the repo rate, is what drives the inflation of the economy. Let me know if you learned something new from the video today. If yes, we can make a part 2 of how the financial systems work. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. You can find other videos on my channel below.